Good morning. There is a single habit so simple yet so powerful that it can transform the course of your entire existence. The difference between those who merely wish for a better life and those who build it lies not in their circumstances, not in their education, not even in their talent, but in the daily discipline of their thoughts. Every great achievement, every empire built, every remarkable invention began in the unseen workshop of the human mind. Thoughts are the seeds of destiny. But here is the tragedy. Most people allow their minds to be controlled by chance, by fear, by doubt, by the opinions of others. They wake up each morning and let the world tell them what to think, what to feel, and what to believe, and then they wonder why their lives remain the same. My friend, if I could stand before you and give you just one piece of advice that has the power to completely transform your life, it would be this: learn to master the habit of directing your thoughts every single morning. This one practice, when embraced with consistency and determination, has the power to change the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately the life you live. Most people search for complex secrets to success. They believe there must be some hidden formula that only the great minds of history have discovered. But the truth is simpler than you imagine. The lives of extraordinary men and women throughout history were not built on luck or chance. They were shaped by a daily discipline, the discipline of controlling and directing the mind before anything else could control it. Every dream you have, every goal you wish to achieve, every change you desire in your circumstances begins as a thought. Thoughts are invisible forces, yet they are the architects of every visible result in your life. The house you live in, the chair you sit on, the career you have chosen, all were born as ideas in someone's mind before they became reality. But here lies the challenge. Most people live their entire lives letting their thoughts wander aimlessly, influenced by the noise of the world, by the negativity of others, by yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fears. They wake up in the morning and immediately surrender their minds to the chaos around them. The news, the opinions of friends, the doubts planted by others, and then they wonder why their days feel directionless and unproductive. They have never realized that they hold in their hands, or rather in their minds, the very tool that could guide them toward the life they have always wanted. The habit that can change your life overnight is to seize the first hour of the day and take command of your thoughts. It is in these early moments, before the world lays claim to your attention, that you have the greatest power to shape the direction of your day. If you allow your mind to drift in those precious first moments, you set the tone for a day driven by outside forces. But if you awaken with purpose, if you take a few quiet moments to focus on what you truly want, to affirm your strengths, to visualize your progress, you awaken the giant within you. Each morning becomes not just a beginning of another routine day, but a deliberate step toward your vision. You must understand that your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant there will grow, whether it is seeds of hope and confidence or weeds of doubt and fear. And just as a gardener must tend to his soil daily, removing the weeds before they take root, so must you tend to your thoughts every morning before the worries of life have a chance to take hold. You cannot control every circumstance around you, but you can always control the way you think about them. This is where true power lies. Circumstances are like the wind, sometimes calm, sometimes fierce, but your thoughts are the sails. With the right habit of thought, you can adjust your sails to move in the direction you choose. When you wake each morning, resist the temptation to reach for your phone, to read the news, or to absorb the opinions of others. Instead, pause and speak to yourself as a leader would speak to a trusted companion. Remind yourself of who you are becoming, of what you are capable of the goals that matter to you. Say to yourself, today I will think thoughts that serve me, that lift me, that guide me toward progress. Feed your mind with powerful ideas, not with the residue of yesterday's doubts. This simple act may seem small, but it is the beginning of a profound transformation. In time, your thoughts will grow stronger than your fears, and your vision will guide your actions like a beacon in the night. Consider this truth: your life is not shaped by the events that happen to you, but by the meaning you give to them. Two people can face the same setback, and one will be defeated by it, while the other will use it as a stepping stone. The difference lies not in the setback, but in the habit of thought each one has cultivated. If you begin each day training your mind to look for possibilities instead of problems, for lessons instead of losses, for opportunities instead of obstacles, you will start to rise above circumstances that once held you down. This is not magic, nor is it a trick of positive thinking. It is the natural law of cause and effect at work. Your dominant thoughts shape your beliefs shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your destiny. Do not underestimate how quickly this habit can alter the course of your life. The change does not require years. It begins the very moment you decide to take control of your thoughts. Each day you repeat this practice, you reinforce a new pattern. As days turn into weeks, your mind begins to default to focus and clarity instead of confusion and doubt. You will start to notice things you had overlooked before, opportunities, relationships, solutions that were always there but hidden from your view by the fog of scattered thinking. This is why I say the habit can change your life overnight. Not because the world outside you transforms in an instant, but because your perception of it does. And perception is the first step to transformation. You may ask yourself, is it really so simple? Can one habit truly make such a difference? I tell you it can, and history has proven it countless times. The greatest inventors, leaders, and visionaries were not born with extraordinary powers. They cultivated extraordinary habits of thought. They trained their minds to focus on what they wanted, even when the world around them gave them every reason to focus on what they feared. They treated their thoughts as the most valuable resource they possessed, and they guarded that resource fiercely. The future belongs to those who refuse to let their mornings be stolen by distraction or negativity. If you want to rise above the life you have always known, begin by rising above the chaos of undisciplined thinking. You do not need to wait for the perfect opportunity, the right season, or the approval of others. You have within you right now the ability to think deliberately, to plant seeds of power, and to water them with daily attention. That is the beginning of all progress. So I urge you, do not let another sunrise pass without claiming your rightful power. Before you face the world each day, face yourself. Declare your purpose, command your mind, and remind yourself that you are the master of your own thoughts. Let your first thoughts in the morning be thoughts of courage, not fear, of gratitude, not resentment, of determination, not doubt. With each passing day, you will notice a shift in your energy, in your focus, in the way others respond to you, in the opportunities that seem to appear. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of a mind trained to lead rather than follow. The world will always have noise, distractions, and challenges. But a person who has mastered the habit of directing their thoughts each morning is like a ship with a strong rudder. No matter how rough the seas, they stay their course. The day you decide to claim this habit is the day you begin to steer your own destiny. Do not wait for tomorrow to begin. Start with the very next morning. For the greatest journeys are not begun with grand gestures, but with small, consistent steps. And the first step is to take control of the most powerful force you possess. The thoughts you think when you wake. There comes a point in every person's life when they look around and realize that their days keep passing, yet the dream they once carried in their heart remains distant. Many believe the difference between success and mediocrity lies in talent, luck, or favorable circumstances. But those who have walked the path of achievement will tell you otherwise. The real difference lies in the way a person trains their mind to think. Every success story begins with the mastery of thought. Every failure can be traced to the failure to guide one's thoughts. If you wish to transform your life, do not begin by changing the world outside of you. Begin by changing the way you think from the moment you wake up. This is the single most important habit you can ever build, and it has the power to change your life almost overnight. Most people wake each morning and immediately hand over their minds to the noise of the world. They reach for their phones, scroll through news feeds filled with negativity, or listen to the opinions of others before they even have a chance to hear their own inner voice. Their minds are like a ship without a captain, tossed by every wave and gust of wind, and then they wonder why they feel restless, why their days lack direction, why their lives seem stuck in a pattern they cannot break. The truth is simple. You cannot move forward in life if your thoughts are constantly being driven by outside forces. The first step toward freedom is to claim control over your mind at the start of each day. The habit that can transform your life overnight is the discipline of intentional morning thought. Before the demands of the world flood in, take time to focus your mind on who you are becoming, on what you want to accomplish, on the vision that drives you. This is not mere positive thinking. This is deliberate mental conditioning. Just as an athlete warms up his muscles before a competition, you must warm up your mind before you step into the challenges of the day. When you start your day with purpose, you take command of your thoughts, and by doing so, you take command of your future. Think of your mind as fertile soil. If you plant seeds of confidence, determination, and gratitude, you will harvest strength, perseverance, and progress. But if you allow the weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity to grow unchecked, they will choke the growth of your potential. Too many people allow the weeds to take over because they never take the time to tend to their minds in the morning. They start the day reacting to circumstances rather than creating them. They begin in a state of distraction rather than direction, and in doing so, they give away their greatest advantage, the power to decide how they will think, feel, and act. The simple truth is that the mind, left unattended, will drift toward fear and limitation. This is why the first moments of the morning are so crucial. They set the tone for everything that follows. If you rise and immediately focus on problems, you will find more problems throughout the day. If you begin the day dwelling on opportunities, you will begin to see possibilities that others overlook. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and the inner state you cultivate each morning will shape the results you experience in every area of life. You might think this sounds too simple to be so powerful, but simplicity is often the foundation of greatness. History has shown that the most successful people are those who develop strong habits of thought. They do not allow their minds to be controlled by the opinions of others or by the ups and downs of circumstance. They make a conscious decision each day to focus on their goals, to see obstacles as stepping stones, to persist when others give up. This mental discipline gives them an advantage that no amount of talent or luck can replace. The moment you decide to make this a daily practice, you will feel a shift inside you. You will notice your thoughts becoming clearer, your emotions steadier, your energy more focused. You will stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your own destiny. This change is not something you must wait years to see. It begins as soon as you take control of your morning thoughts. Within days, you will sense a difference in the way you approach challenges. Within weeks, you will see progress in areas where you once felt stuck. Within months, you will look back and realize that a single simple habit has set you on a new path. This habit is not about pretending life is perfect or ignoring real challenges. It is about preparing your mind to face those challenges with strength and clarity. It is about refusing to let fear be your guide. It is about training yourself to look for solutions instead of surrendering to problems. By directing your thoughts at the start of the day, you are not denying reality. You are choosing to approach it as a leader rather than as a victim. Understand this. Your thoughts are not random. They are choices. And every choice you make in your thinking shapes the actions you take and the results you experience. Most people drift through life believing they are thinking, when in fact, they are merely reacting to whatever crosses their path. But those who rise above the ordinary learn to think on purpose. They claim the quiet moments of the morning as their time to build a mental foundation for the day. They remind themselves of their vision, of their reasons, of their inner power. And because of this, they move through the world with confidence and direction while others stumble in confusion. If you wish to create a new future, begin by creating a new morning. Begin by deciding that before you expose your mind to the voices and distractions of the world, you will take time to guide your thoughts toward where you want to go. Speak to yourself with conviction. Feed your mind with uplifting ideas. See yourself already becoming the person you aspire to be. This is the unseen work that leads to visible results. The outer success people admire always begins as inner discipline that few ever witness. Too many wait for the right opportunity, for the right time, for some external change to give them permission to pursue their dreams. They do not realize that the power to begin lies within them in the simple choice to take charge of their own thinking. The future does not belong to those who wait for chance. It belongs to those who prepare their minds for it. You can change your circumstances by first changing your thoughts, and you can change your thoughts by mastering the habit of beginning each day with intention. So I challenge you now, do not let another sunrise pass without claiming this power. The first hour of your day is the golden hour, the time when your mind is most receptive, most open, and most ready to be shaped. Fill it with purpose. Fill it with gratitude. Fill it with the vision of the life you are creating. Let no day begin with fear or doubt at the helm of your mind. Start each morning as the captain of your own ship, steering your thoughts toward the horizon you have chosen. If you will do this, if you will persist in this one simple habit, you will soon find that your life begins to align with your intentions. And one day you will look back and realize that everything changed not because the world suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger and clearer within. This is the one habit that can transform everything. Begin it today, and you will discover that the real secret to success was never outside of you. It was within you all along, waiting for you to take control of the most powerful tool you possess, your own mind. There is a moment in every life when a person looks in the mirror and asks, why has nothing really changed? The calendar turns, the seasons shift, yet the same struggles return. The same doubts whisper in the dark. Many believe the answer lies in acquiring new opportunities, meeting the right people, or waiting for some lucky break to appear. But the truth is that lasting change does not come from what is outside of you. It comes from what you do with the thoughts inside of you. Every great transformation in history, every story of triumph over adversity, every innovation that altered the world began first as an idea, as a single thought held long enough to grow into action. If there is one habit that can change your life almost overnight, it is the habit of directing your mind with intention each morning before the world has a chance to direct it for you. Most people do not realize how much of their life is shaped by their first thoughts upon waking. The moment their eyes open, they allow the weight of yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries to occupy their minds. They reach for their phones and fill their consciousness with the voices and judgments of others. In that instant, they hand away the steering wheel of their lives. They drift through the day reacting instead of creating, controlled by outer conditions instead of their inner vision. They mistake motion for progress and wonder why, despite their efforts, nothing truly shifts. The real difference between those who advance and those who remain stuck lies in what they choose to do with the most precious minutes of the day, the early moments when the mind is fresh, unguarded, and most open to direction. The habit that can change your life overnight is to claim the first part of your day as your own and guide your thoughts toward your purpose. It requires no wealth, no special talent, no favorable circumstance. It requires only a decision to take command of your inner world. Before the noise of the outside world intrudes, sit quietly with yourself. Picture the person you are becoming. Speak to yourself words that strengthen rather than weaken. Set a tone of determination, gratitude, and focus. In doing so, you begin to build an inner environment that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. This may sound simple, but it is profound, for your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. What you repeatedly dwell upon shapes your beliefs. Your beliefs influence your decisions, and your decisions create the life you live. Think of the mind as a lens through which you view the world. If the lens is clouded by fear, you will see obstacles everywhere. If it is clear and directed by purpose, you will see possibility others overlook. That lens is adjusted each morning by the thoughts you choose to focus upon. Far too many let it adjust itself to the noise around them, and in doing so they surrender the most powerful tool they have. But the ones who achieve great things, the ones whose lives leave a mark, are those who deliberately adjust their minds at the start of every day to align with their vision and values. You cannot expect a different life while thinking the same thoughts. You cannot move forward while replaying the same stories of limitation and defeat. The moment you wake is your opportunity to interrupt that old pattern. You do not need to wait for perfect conditions. You do not need to wait for motivation to strike. You simply need to begin each day by choosing your thoughts as carefully as a sculptor chooses his tools. For just as a sculptor shapes raw stone into a work of art, so your morning thoughts will shape the raw material of your day into either a masterpiece or a wasted chance. You may wonder how quickly such a habit can create change. The answer is faster than you think. The reason is that the world you experience is largely a reflection of how you perceive it. When you change the focus of your mind, you change your energy, your decisions, your responses, and your actions. This new pattern alters the way you engage with challenges, the way you treat others, the opportunities you notice, and the risks you are willing to take. While the external results may take time to fully appear, the shift in your inner state is immediate, and that shift begins to influence everything you do from that moment on. Many people wait for a sudden breakthrough, hoping that one grand event will turn their lives around. But in truth, it is the small, consistent practice of directing your thoughts each morning that creates the breakthrough. Over time, this practice rewires your mental habits. It makes your mind less reactive to fear and more receptive to ideas. It strengthens your sense of purpose, giving you resilience in the face of difficulty. And it trains you to see opportunities hidden in what once appeared as obstacles. This is why it feels as though life begins to change almost overnight, for you start to notice and act upon possibilities that had been invisible to you before. It is essential to understand that this habit is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. Life will always present challenges. The difference is that by beginning the day with directed thought, you equip yourself to face those challenges with clarity and resolve. You step into the world as a leader of your own mind rather than a follower of your fears. Instead of being consumed by setbacks, you search for lessons. Instead of being paralyzed by uncertainty, you take action guided by a larger vision. This mindset does not eliminate difficulty, but it transforms the way you respond to it, and in time that transformation reshapes your reality. There is great power in knowing that you do not have to wait to begin. Too often, people postpone change, telling themselves they will start when circumstances improve, when they feel more confident, when someone else gives them a chance. But the very act of waiting strengthens the habit of inaction. The opportunity is always in the present moment. You can begin tomorrow morning. You can begin today. You can begin now. And once you begin, you will discover that you needed no permission, no special gift, only the courage to direct your thoughts toward what you truly desire. Remember, the thoughts that occupy your mind in the morning will set the direction of your entire day. If you fill those moments with fear, you will see the world as threatening. If you fill them with gratitude, you will find reasons to keep moving forward. If you fill them with determination, you will draw on strength you did not know you had. This is the quiet power behind the lives of those who rise above their circumstances. They do not wake as victims of the day ahead. They wake as its authors. I urge you to give yourself this gift. Do not allow another morning to slip away as if it belonged to someone else. Claim it as your own. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and direct your thoughts before the world directs them for you. Remind yourself of your vision, your values, your worth. Visualize the progress you are making. Speak with conviction the truths that strengthen you. It will take only a few minutes, yet it will shape the course of your day, and the days shaped by this new habit will accumulate into weeks, months, and years of progress and fulfillment. The one habit that will change your life overnight is not a complicated ritual or an expensive secret. It is the simple but powerful decision to guide your mind before the world claims it. Begin this practice and you will notice a shift, not because the outer world has changed, but because you have. And as you change, the world responds differently to you. The opportunities you once missed will appear. The obstacles you once feared will shrink. The path that once seemed hidden will reveal itself. All of this begins with a single daily choice to take control of your first thoughts and align them with the life you wish to create. There is a turning point in life when a person realizes that the results they see in the outer world are not determined by luck, by talent, or by the unpredictable actions of others, but by the quiet patterns of thought that unfold within their own mind each day. If you study the lives of those who have achieved something meaningful, you will find that their journeys were rarely smooth or free of hardship. They faced obstacles, disappointments, and failures just like everyone else, but they cultivated a way of thinking that allowed them to rise above circumstances. They did not wait for the perfect conditions to appear. They mastered themselves first. And at the heart of that mastery lies one simple but profound habit, the discipline of directing their thoughts each morning before the demands of the world could dictate the direction of their day. This habit, though quiet and invisible, has the power to change a life almost overnight, because the mind that is guided with purpose at dawn cannot be easily swayed by the storms of the day. Most people begin their mornings in a rush. They wake up and immediately react to whatever message appears on their phone or whatever worry crosses their mind. They start the day carrying yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's fears. They let the voices of others decide the tone of their own thoughts. Without realizing it, they give away their greatest strength, the ability to choose the state of mind with which they will meet the day. And then they wonder why their lives feel scattered and unfulfilled. What they do not see is that the quality of their days and therefore of their lives is largely determined in the first quiet minutes after they wake. Those minutes are the most powerful of all, for in them the mind is like fresh soil, ready to receive the seeds that will grow throughout the day. If you sow thoughts of doubt and limitation, you will reap frustration and inaction. If you sow thoughts of courage and possibility, you will reap progress and strength. The one habit that can alter everything is to take control of that early time and give deliberate direction to your thoughts. You do not need to be wealthy or famous to do this. You do not need special tools or approval from anyone. All you need is the decision to pause each morning before you give your attention to the world and use that pause to claim ownership of your mind. You can do it in silence with a few deep breaths, with written words or spoken affirmations, but what matters is the intention to guide your thinking rather than drift with the tide of outside influence. This is not a complicated ritual. It is a simple act of mental leadership, and it changes the way you see yourself and the world. Once you have set the tone of your thoughts, your actions follow naturally, and your life begins to align with the direction you have chosen. Imagine your mind as a clear lens. Whatever you focus it on will come into sharper view. If the lens is fogged with fear or doubt, everything ahead looks uncertain and threatening. If the lens is clear and pointed toward opportunity, you begin to see solutions and paths that once seemed hidden. That clarity is something you can create every morning. It does not appear by chance. It is built by consistent choice. And the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes, until eventually it becomes the natural state of your mind. That is why so many people who adopt this habit say they feel as if a switch was flipped inside them. The external world may remain the same, but their perception and response to it transform almost overnight. Some may think that such a simple habit cannot have such a profound effect, but look closely at those who achieve lasting success in any field, and you will find that they share this trait. They begin their days with purpose. They do not allow random thoughts or outside noise to dictate their focus. They choose it. And because they choose it, they act with consistency even in uncertain circumstances. The difference between a person who moves steadily toward their vision and one who stays stuck is often not intelligence or opportunity, but the daily direction of thought. Each morning becomes a new chance to reset, to recommit, to focus on what truly matters. The beauty of this habit is that it does not require perfect conditions. You can begin it no matter where you are or what challenges you face. In fact, the more chaotic your life feels, the more powerful this practice becomes. When you take control of your first thoughts in the morning, you create an island of stability in a sea of uncertainty. You tell yourself, in effect, that while you may not control every event in the world, you control how you will think, respond, and act. That mindset is the foundation of resilience. It gives you the strength to face difficulties without being consumed by them and the wisdom to see opportunities even in adversity. It is important to understand that this habit is not about denying reality or pretending problems do not exist. It is about preparing your mind to meet reality in a way that serves you rather than weakens you. Challenges will always be part of life, but when you begin your day by grounding yourself in thoughts of courage, gratitude, and vision, those challenges lose their power to defeat you. You start to meet them with solutions instead of surrender. You begin to move forward even when the path is not clear. Over time, that forward motion builds confidence and momentum, and you find that you are no longer at the mercy of external conditions. Many people wait for inspiration or motivation to appear before they begin to change their lives. They believe they must feel ready or confident before they can take the first step. But the truth is the opposite. Change begins with action, and the simplest action is the choice to direct your mind. The feeling of confidence grows from that action, not the other way around. The moment you decide to claim the first minutes of your morning as your own and guide your thoughts, you begin to transform your inner world. And as your inner world changes, your outer world gradually adjusts to match it. You do not need to wait for a new year, a new season, or a dramatic event to start this practice. You can begin tomorrow. You can begin today. The power lies not in the calendar, but in the decision you make right now. Each day you repeat the habit, it becomes easier. Each day you do it, You train your mind to focus more quickly, to resist negativity more easily, to recover from setbacks more swiftly, and before long, what once required effort becomes a natural part of who you are. Picture your future self standing at a crossroads. Down one path lies more of the same, reacting, drifting, hoping that something outside you will finally change things. Down the other lies intentional growth, driven by the daily choice to guide your thoughts. The path you choose is not determined by chance. It is determined by habit, and the habit begins in the quiet of the morning, in the first thoughts you allow to take root. That is where your future is being built even now. So I say to you, do not underestimate the power you hold. Do not let another sunrise pass with your mind surrendered to the chaos of the world. Rise each morning as the master of your thoughts. Claim those early moments as your foundation. Plant in them the seeds of the life you are creating. Nurture them with attention and persistence. And watch as, day by day, the world around you begins to respond to the new direction of your mind. For in the end, the greatest transformation is not something that happens to you, it is something that grows within you.